Hey, what's up guys, it's Delantix. The trailer for the new set, Extraterrestrial Crisis, just dropped, and today we're going to be going over every new card we've seen in the trailers, as well as the new promo pack that has also been announced. We got Ultra Beasts like Kartana, Buzzwole EX, and even Ultra Necrosma from the Rabombi video, so let's check it out. Without further ado, let's go. Alright, first off we got Kartana. We have 3 new grass types revealed. Kartana is the first. Kartana is a 60 health basic Ultra Beast with the 1 cost attack Thrash Metal, dealing 40 damage. So this obviously has the same exact stats as Farfetch'd, which has been either meta or pretty solid ever since it released back in Genetic Apex, the first set of the game, which also has 60 health and 40 damage, but this one is grass type. So what that means is 1, cards that are weak to grass type like Darkrai EX and Rampardos EX or Rampardos are probably the most common examples of that, but generally a bunch of dark types and ground types are going to be weak to grass. They're going to take 20 more damage, so they're going to take 60 damage from Kartana. And that means, right, you deal in 60 plus 60, and then on the 3rd turn, you're 1-shotting, or you're 3-shotting Darkrai EX, and you're 3-shotting the Rampardos. And so 60 HP is a really strong hit. You know, Carnivine deals 50 base, Skarmory deals 50 base, but then obviously Carnivine's also grass, so it's going to deal 70 to Darkrai, letting it 2-shot it. So we're not quite at Carnivine level, but Carnivine requires you to have an Arceus in the back. This one you can splash into any grass deck. And so comparing it to Farfetch'd, right? Farfetch'd is colorless, so you can put it in literally any deck. You don't need grass energy. This one you need grass energy, and you're also weak to fire. So a 40 damage fire attack would also one-shot Kartana. I don't really think there's any 40 HP notable attacks right now though that are fire. The one on the top of my head is the Incineroar burn for 1 energy, deals 30 plus 50 for the burn. And so that's going to deal 50 plus 20 to 70. And so that would one-shot the Kartana, but you know, stuff like Charmander is going to deal 30 plus 20 or 20 plus 20. It's not going to be able to one-shot the Kartana. And the other thing with plant Pokemon or grass type Pokemon, right, is that they have access to the grass type only cards. So that includes Erica, which heals you for 50 on a supporter, compared to the Nurse Joy's 30, and it also gives you access to the new Leaf Cape from the last set, which increases your max health by 30 instead of 20, so giving you a max health of 90 HP, you're going to be able to tank most one-shots in the game until they get to their higher tier Pokemon, where they're dealing 100 or 120 anyway, and at that point, you know, hopefully Kartana has already dealt enough damage to win you the game from there before they get into their biggest breakpoint, so I think it's a really good card. Farfetch'd has been pretty good in every deck. I think Farfetch'd was a lot better in the last meta though, which was a bit slower, where people are ramping, they're stacking a ton of energy before they move. Nowadays, it's all about just finding rare candy and evolving as soon as possible and playing those low-cost energy Pokemon, but still, you know, if they released this like a set ago, 2 sets ago, 3 sets ago, any of the previous sets, this would be crazy strong, but nowadays with the game being so fast, you know, it's still going to be really good, of course, but it's probably not as good as it could have been. Is the whole set revealed? Nah, nice profile picture, by the way. Not the whole set, but a few select cards, maybe like 15. A lot of the Ultra Beasts, or all of them. All right, next up is Pheromosa. So this is a 70 HP basic as well. 10 more HP than the Kartana, but it's also basic grass Ultra Beast. It has the 1 cost attack Jump Blues. This deals 20 damage plus 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And the thing is, you get to choose which bench Pokemon gets hit. So I think some of the examples of the attack are Empoleon. And there is some other ones that I'm forgetting. Maybe one of the Pikachus, but this deals 20 plus 20, so 40 damage on 1 energy as well. Similar to the Farfetch'd, but obviously the Farfetch'd and the Kartana are going to be having different use cases. This is going to be a great enabler for Cyrus and Decidueye's 100 damage snipe, which can only attack, it can only be used against Pokemon with damage on them already. And so you can mark anyone on the bench you want with Pheromosa dealing 20 damage for just 1 energy. And then you don't have to evolve into it like you do with Lurantis, who hits everyone for 20 energy, or for 20 damage for 1 energy, but you have to evolve into it from a basic. Or Spiritomb hits everyone as a colorless 1 cost, but it only deals 10 damage, so if they have like a Shaman, they can heal that away, and then suddenly you don't have anyone marked anymore for the Decidueye. So I think this is going to be a solid addition to the Decidueye decks, but in my opinion, would I run this over like the Meowscarada? Would I add another one of these into the Meowscarada deck? Maybe one, but probably not. I feel like Meowscarada Decidueye is definitely the best variant right now. And not a lot of people are doing swapping out, so really you just want to kill the opponent's active as fast as possible in the current meta, and that's why Meowscarada Decidueye is fine without running a sniper. So we'll see if anything else changes with the meta where people are going to be stacking stuff on the bench again, but maybe like the new Ultra Necrosma. But other than that, you know, I feel like you still run the Meowscarada, but we'll see, of course. Another weakness to fire and a 1 retreat for 70 HP. But yeah, 20-20 split is still really good for a basic 1 cost. And of course you get Leaf Cape and Erica access as well. Alright, Buzzwole EX is a 140 HP basic Ultra Beast. It has the 2 cost colorless punch for 30 damage, and then the 3 cost Big Beat, dealing 120. But the kicker is that during your next turn, your opponent cannot, or you cannot use Big Beat again, and that only applies to this Buzzwole, right? So what you can do is that you can play 2 copies of Buzzwole and then swap between them, and then you won't have the punishment or the downside of Big Beat because it doesn't say like Buzzwole EX cannot use Big Beat, it just says this Pokemon. So if you had a second one, you can swap into it. However, I think it's just so much setup. I don't really think it's worth it for 120 damage per turn on 3 energy payoff. So 120 is not that bad. You know, 120 is going to be 2-shotting most people. This already one-shots a Darkrai EX because of the grass weakness if they don't have Cape. And the intended use is to play it with the setup that lets you swap between 2 Buzzwoles. We'll have to see if they have any other cards that support Buzzwole, but as of right now, I don't see it being too meta. Weakness to fire and a 2 retreat also. There's a new card that lets you swap in Ultra Beasts. But, you know, if you don't have that card, a 2 retreat is really tough when your entire game plan is to swap between 2 Buzzwoles. Alright, Tapu Koko. Tapu Koko EX is a 130 HP basic electric type with the 1 cost Plasma Hurricane dealing 20 damage. It lets you take a electric energy from your energy zone and attach it to this Pokemon, so it's going to generate electric onto itself. And then it has a 3 cost Mach Bolt dealing 90 damage. So a lot of like the discourse around this is that it power crept Pikachu EX and Pachirisu EX. It does have 10 more HP. So the difference between those, right, is that yes, you don't have the condition of having to have 300 bench or having a tool attached if you can get that self-generation. But the thing is, right, for it to be equal energy, you have to have attacked with Plasma Hurricane the last turn. Whereas with Pikachu EX, Pachirisu EX, you can attach one in the back. So if you're playing like 18 Trainer, Tapu Koko, right, compared to 18 Trainer Pachirisu, with that, you can just attach within 4 energy. But if your Tapu Koko is still alive, and you don't have a chance to attack with Plasma Hurricane on the other one, it's going to take 3 energy or 2 energy on the bench instead of just 1. Because let's say you attack with Tapu Koko, right? You charge, and then you get Mach Bolt for 90, okay? And then the next turn, your Tapu Koko in the active isn't dead yet. So you can attach an energy onto the Tapu Koko in the back. And let's say your Tapu Koko dies, right? So then you have to put in Tapu Koko, and then your Tapu Koko has 1 energy onto it. If it was a Pachirisu or a Pikachu, it would have 2 energy on it with your next turn's energy, but this one, it can't attack with Mach Bolt because you only have 2. That's like the difference. It also has 10 extra health, which isn't incredibly significant, I don't think. And it's got the same weakness to fighting and a 1 retreat. So I've seen mixed reviews. People are saying it's mostly a better Pikachu. Yeah, I agree. Not gonna be meta, I also agree. Better Pikachu, Pachirisu is the idea. I think it's alright. We'll see if there's more support for this in the new set. It's not an Ultra Beast either, so you don't get those effects. We got Zirketry, so we can barely see this one, but it's a basic 100 HP Ultra Beast. Not an EX, it has the 3 cost attack Electronica, dealing 60 damage, and then your opponent's active Pokemon is now Confused. So what Confused does is basically, and this happened to me in the viewer battle versus BB Chillin. Getting this image for the video, yeah, there's a site with all of them. It's called PokeOS. Basically what Confusion does is that whenever a confused Pokemon tries to attack, the owner of the Pokemon or the attacker has to flip a coin, and if they flip heads, the attack will work normally, and if they flip tails, the attack just doesn't happen. There's no self-damage like in the real game. It just cancels your attack. And you can cure this, like with everything, with every other effect, you can cure this by evolving over this confused Pokemon or swapping it out. And yeah, 3 energy, 60, it's alright, it's not great. I mean, the confusion is really helpful, especially against decks like Giratina, Darkrai who only play, they don't evolve into, they don't swap that often. But other than that, we'll see if there's more Ultra Beast support, once again. Weakness 2, fighting, and a 2 retreat. Tapu Luxray Dawn? Yeah, that's a cook. Only good if you're going second. That's fair. Tap in Farfetch'd. True. Farfetch'd hater. Alright, next. Alright, Zeraora. 90 HP basic. It has the ability Thunderclap Flash. At the end of your first turn, take an electric energy from your energy zone and attach it to this Pokemon. So I think this only applies for literally the first turn of the game, is what I'm reading. Unless like I don't know English. This means like literally the first turn of the game, right? So if you don't draw on your first turn, it's dead. Or is it the end of the first turn you play this Pokemon? Because if it was the second one, I feel like it would just say that, right? For sure. And then it has a 2 energy Lightning Claw for 50 damage. So non-Ultra Beast, just solid free 50 damage on 1 energy. So same as Skarmory and Carnivine, but this is 90 HP instead of 80, and it's also an electric type. So electric type with those advantages against some water types, right? Yeah, end of your first turn, so turn 1 or 2. Yeah, whatever your first turn is, right? So if you go second, you can use this going second. So that's nice if you go second, but you can also just use Skarmory or Carnivine going second as well. It's cool. We gave Electrics a Skarmory Carnivine with another condition, but this one, right, if you don't draw it in your first turn, it's pretty bad. You can play like 18 Trainer Zeraora if you want, if that's what you wish. Weakness to Fighting and a 1 cost retreat. Big theme with Electrics. Doesn't seem too good. Hey dude, how was your day? What's up? Welcome to the stream. Alright, next up we got Shyotic. And remember that this is named Shyotic, so it gets the buff from the new supporter. It's like Marshmallow or something, Malo. Basically, that lets you take away all the energy that Shyotic has, but heal it to full. This is a 90 HP Stage 1 Psychic type Pokemon. The ability Illuminate. Once during your turn, you may put a random Pokemon from your deck into your hand. So this is going to be a Bench Rider Pokemon, using that effect to thin your deck really fast. I think this is going to be used more for either Psychic decks that evolve, so Gengar, Gardevoir, stuff like that. Or the other use case is for, I think, Stage 1 decks. So also the theme for Mala, right, is Shyotic and Serena. So this will help with that too. Any evolution deck this will help with. But Stage 1 decks might be helped out with this Shyotic as well. It also has a 2-cost colorless Gentle Slap for 40 damage. So having a search is really, really nice in this game, considering your deck is only 20 health, or 20 deck size, 20 cards. But the thing is, like, it's a Stage 1, so it's kind of hard to get off. Random Pokemon is any Pokemon, so you can play it in any deck, and it has 2 colorless energy, so it's meant to be played in any deck, not just Psychic. Shyotic Necrosma. Yeah, I just said it might fit with Psychic because of the like Gardevoir can splash energy onto it if you want, but. And then, like, the reason I say Psychic specifically is because of Mythical Slab as well. I think it's still a decent card. It's gonna thin your deck even more, but maybe you replace it with this if you're gonna run this at all. Do you run this at all? Probably not. I don't really think so. And if you do, I don't think you run like Malo unless you're running a Serena deck. This guy should never be in your active spot. All right, next up, we got Guzzlord EX revealed. It is a 170 HP basic. That is huge for a basic. Ultra Beast. It has the 2-cost attack Grindcore, dealing 30 damage. It's also 2 colorless, so not dark type. Flip or not dark energy required. Flip a coin until you get tails. For each heads, discard a random energy for your bonus active Pokemon. So they literally put Team Rocket Grunt on a basic attack, which everyone hates. And yeah, that is really fun. 2 energy colorless, so you can play in any deck you want. Although you probably just play this on dark. And yeah, flip a coin, win the game off heads or not. And this is really good right now because a lot of people are just playing their strongest card in the basic slot. There's less ramp on the in the backline other than Giratina this set. We'll see if that changes with the other cards that come out. And obviously we've only seen so many cards in the trailer, but as of right now, it's a very active Pokemon meta, so this is gonna be really good. Same thing with Team Rocket Grunt, right? And then 30 damage is not terrible. On a dark as well, so it deals 52 Giratina. And then it has the 4-cost attack Tyrannical Hole. Oh my. Dealing 120 damage. And this takes 3 dark energy and a 1 colorless. So that's solid. 4 energy onto Guzzlord is kind of rough, but with the new supporter Lucimine that we'll see later, you can attach 2 energy from the graveyard onto Guzzlord, so that can help with that. I feel like with this, you might be playing Darkrai with it because it's dark. Any dark deck is probably buffed by Darkrai, so you know, you're probably not getting a Tyrannical Hole that often. Maybe in the end game you will, though. 120 is not bad. It is 4 energy, and darks don't have any generation unlike Giratina, but hey, it still deals 30 damage and has the discard effect, which can just end games there. Weakness to 20, weakness to grass, and a 4 retreat cost. So 4 retreat cost is a lot. That is crazy, but it has 170 HP for a basic. That is a huge wall. You know, that survives Charizard EX. It survives so many things in the games easily. Not, of course, Shining Revelry Charizard EX, not the old one, but Shining Revelry is the one that's meta. Survives pretty much everything in meta right now, except like a Lucky Serena, because meta Pokemon are just dealing like everything in 2 hits. So yeah, 170 HP on a basic, a ton of HP, but at the cost of a 4 retreat, which you're probably not retreating very often. He goes to 190, yep, exactly, 190. Tyrannical Hole and Grindcore is crazy. The way she got a Tyrannical Hole. What? Dang. Have you seen the 2017 card? Is it 2017 Guzzlord? 2017 Guzzlord Glutton. Eat sloppily and Tyrannical Hole. Very nice. 5 energy, Jesus. It's a completely different game. This hasn't changed the meta at all, unfortunately. Yeah, at least what we've seen so far. It doesn't look too impactful. Maybe we'll see like a few extra decks come up, but I feel like the power level is kind of low. Maybe there's like another Ultra Necrozma that's just cray. You never know, because they didn't reveal a Psychic EX. Rabombi! Rabombi! We still have a few slots left that haven't been revealed. They revealed the Dragon Necrozma promo, but not any Psychic ones yet. We're holding out hope. Alright, Nihilego. This has 70 HP, it's a basic Ultra Beast, and it has the ability More Poison. Your opponent's active Pokemon takes 10 damage from being poisoned more than it does right now. And there's no wording saying it doesn't stack, so it does stack. So if you have 2 Nihilegos on the bench, every poison is going to deal 30 damage. So you can add this on to like the, I saw people cooking up like the Krogunk that has the Toxic that deals 20 more damage. Or it makes the poison deal 10 more damage, so 20 damage plus Nihilego. Your poison can deal 40 damage every turn. But I think the best use case for this is going to be with Darkrai. Of course, guys, I know it sucks, but it's a dark type. The best usage is usually Darkrai EX. And just having that chip damage is going to be really nice with the new card Poison Barb from the last set, which is basically Rocky Helmet, but it poisons them instead of dealing 20 damage back. And so this is going to buff that. You could just hide behind a Darkrai EX and poke with that, chip with that, with a Poison Barb onto the Darkrai EX. What about Weezing? Yeah, is there a Weezing that doubles the poison damage? But yeah, of course, any poison type, any poison applier. Cloudsire as well. It's gonna be good with this. Grafaiai can apply poison as well. Salazzle, Nihilego, yep, and Dialga. Dialga, Necrozma, Shyotic. That is interesting. That is interesting. I think Dialga Necrozma is gonna be the way you play Necrozma. So yeah, Toxicroak, yeah, exactly. I was calling it Krogunk, but yeah, the Toxicroak. I think there's one more that does that as well. And then this also has a new wave for 2 cost, 1 dark, 1 colorless, dealing 30 damage and poisoning the opponent's active. Weakness to fighting, and a 1 retreat. If you really like playing poison decks, yeah, I think this is a great addition. Poison decks aren't really strong right now though, and RCS also just doesn't get poisoned for whatever reason, so I guess it's God's will. Naganadell. I've never seen this Pokemon in my life before. 100 HP, Ultra Beast, Stage 1, Dark type. It has the 1 cost attack Electro House, dealing 40 damage and poisoning your opponent's active Pokemon, so this is going to pair with Nihilego as well. If you want a Stage 1 applier that deals 40 damage on 1, I mean, it's not terrible. It does have the Ultra Beast tag, and I feel like they're going to add more Ultra Beast synergy cards than just those, right? Like, if it's just Lucimine, that's super, super underwhelming. I feel like it's going to be more that we haven't seen yet. 2 retreat cost and a fighting weakness. I think so far, from what we know, this is okay. I mean, we'll have to see what the basic of this does as well, but right now it doesn't seem meta-defining. Poison Barb is used often, doesn't need a poison deck. Yeah, that's what I was saying as well. I think best use case is just play it behind a Darkrai. Beast Ball incoming. True. Some crazy searchers. We got Stakataka, the block stack game from the arcade. 10 HP basic metal type Ultra Beast as a 2 cost attack Grass Rock, dealing 40 damage. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes negative 20 damage from attacks. So resistances, I think Registeel has resistances, like these are classic resistance Pokemon, but it deals 40 damage for 2. I mean, it's a nice tank. Well, again, As always, see more Ultra Beast synergies in the future. It has a 3 retreat and a weakness to fire. Seems okay, but we'll see if there's like an Ultra Beast archetype deck that is gonna be good. Cool Bastion, yeah. It's a nice tank, but I don't think it's nice enough compared to like the pressure you can put on with Skarmory. I mean, negative 20, 130, you're still dying to a good amount of stuff. You're surviving Solgaleo though, right? Alolan Diglett, 60 HP metal type. What? The thing looks so far away from the energy anyway. It's a 1 cost metal type, happened to headbutt, 40 damage, flip a coin if tails, the attack does nothing, so get lucky. Average of 20 damage. At best, it's another copy of Farfetch'd, but metal type. At worst, it deals literally 0 damage, so. I'm not excited about that, but it does evolve into Alolan Dugtrio, right? We'll have to see what that does. It's got a weakness to fire and a 1 retreat. Okay, I could at least make it 50, but I do get that it evolves into something, so they can't make it too strong. Hypnol, 80 HP, colorless basic. It has a 1 cost colorless quick blow, dealing 20 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, this attack also deals 20 more damage. So average of 30 damage on 1 colorless. And 80 HP instead of 60 from the Farfetch'd. Is this better than Farfetch'd? Probably not. I mean, 80 HP to 60 to 80. There are some things where that matters, but it also has a 2 retreat, so that's a bit rough. And a weakness to fighting as well. I think the 2 retreat keeps it from being better than like straight better than Farfetch'd. But you're already dealing at average 30, and obviously like the guaranteed 40 is so nice. Like that's so valuable on Farfetch'd as well. Silvally EX incoming, yeah. It could happen, it could happen. I mean, they haven't released a metal type, right? Metal type EX. Like, I think it'll for sure happen. That makes sense that this would be weaker than Farfetch'd because it evolves. Celesteela, a 120 HP, colorless, basic Ultra Beast. It has the ability Ultra Thrusters. Once during your turn, you may switch your active Ultra Beast with one of your bench Ultra Beasts. So this is going to help out that Ultra Beast archetype deck. This is going to help out with your, what's it called? The Buzzwole swapping. This makes that 3 cost retreat irrelevant, but you have to have 2 Buzzwoles with 3 energy on each, or 2 energy on each with the Celesteela active. That's a lot of, that's a lot. That's pretty late into the game. But yeah, that's the intended mechanic with Buzzwole EX, right? It also has a 3 cost Moonbaton, dealing 100 damage. Flip a coin. If tails, the attack does nothing. Yeah, average of 50 damage. It's okay, but 3 energy is a lot. I feel like you're just using this as a bench rider for the ability. It has a weakness to electric and a 4 retreat cost, so really hoping you don't break into this. Really hoping you don't. But yeah, we'll see if there are any more Ultra Beasts synergy cards than this. And then if so, this could be a really good card because everyone knows how toxic the Solgaleo free retreat is right now. Or free swapping is right now. And having to play this on the bench, having this to find it, it's not that bad of a condition. Like the thing about Buzzwole is that you have to have so much energy on 2 Buzzwoles. You have to find all of that plus Celesteela. Alimas go with this? Yeah, that too. Just can act as a tank with Alima. I feel like there are better options though as well for that. We'll see what Silvally does though. Yeah, solid card. It gets way better if Ultra Beasts are good. Of course. Another promo Rowlet. Cute. This one has Fury Attack, so this is a new attack for the Rowlets. It deals 10 damage if you flip 3 coins, and then it deals 10 damage for each heads you flip, so up to 30, average of 15. Do you run this over the other ones? I feel like you really want the bench sniper one, so pass on this one, but it does look very cute. Blacephalon, a 100 HP Ultra Beast again. This deals 130 damage with Beat Punk, but deals 70 damage to itself, and it has a 3 cost attack. So if you can get fire energy generated or any energy generated onto your Blacephalon, this is going to be an enabler for Lucimine, right? Because Lucimine, we're going to see what it does. Just like a self-destruct button on a basic 1 cost if it falls. Not bad. Weakness to water and a 2 retreat. If it was 2 energy, this card would be nuts, absolutely crazy. But 3, I think 3 is fair. All right, here we go, Lucimine. So you can use this card only if your opponent has gone at least 1 point. So if they have knocked out one of your Pokemon or one of your EXs, or 2 of your non-EXs. Choose one of your Ultra Beasts and attach 3 random energy, or attach 2 random energy from your discard pile onto it. So yeah, sorry, it's 2, not 3. That is a huge difference. So this is gonna help you get all of your Ultra Beast attacks off faster, but you have to sacrifice someone with energy already on it. And it doesn't have to be an Ultra Beast, it can be anyone that had energy on it, but they do have to fall with the energy attached. Or if they have like a card effect that discards energy, like Magnezone, this will also work with that. But yeah, it'll attach 2 energy onto one of your Ultra Beasts, and then you can attach your third from the turn energy to use 3 energy Ultra Beasts. Same goes with 2 energy Ultra Beasts. You don't have to attach your turn energy 4 if you have one already. So this is gonna be nice. It's gonna be a surprise play like the Luxray one, Volkner, and I think this will be a nice staple for the any Ultra Beast decks you run. And yeah, I think that's it for now. Let's see if we can find the promos. That's it for the new set itself. And then, yo, Grammarly, chill. Do they have it here? They do not. All right, let's look for this thing. Let's see. TCG Pocket Ultra Necros is on here. I like the site. Yeah, all right. So we got Ultra Necrosma EX revealed. It has a 150 HP. There we go. 150 HP Ultra Beast Dragon type EX. So the first Dragon type EX ever in TCG Pocket, which is awesome. Love that. The art is also sick. 3 cost attack, colorless, Photon Claw, dealing 60 damage. And then a 4 cost Shoegaze, shout out to Wisp. And shout out Wisp, Flawed Mangoes. Boom. 120 HP damage for 2 Psychic and 2 Metal types or Steel energy. And then it discards the top 5 cards of each player's deck. So 120 damage, 2 Psychic, 2 Metal. It has the dual typing required for Dragon again. So this card is generating a ton of discussion. Some people are saying it's broken. Some people are saying it's terrible and will never be meta. Some people are saying it's going to be the only card that's meta. What do I think? Where do I think it's going to go? As of right now, I would say somewhere in the middle. I think it'll be like Rogue, but we'll see if they add more Ultra Beast synergy again. Obviously, Lucimine, you can attach 2 energy from the discard onto this. And then what people are thinking about right now are Dialga attaches 2 Metal to the back, and then Giratina generates its own Psychic. And then people are really freaking out about the mill effect, milling 5. The thing is, there's no like deck out option in this game. At least there's not yet. So like in Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon, where there are mill, or even Magic, right? There are mill decks that intentionally mill your opponents or discard away your opponent's cards from their deck. In those games, right? There's a condition where if they draw and there's no cards left in their deck, they instantly lose the game. In TCG Pocket, there's not the condition. Like if they run out of cards, like with the Garchomp deck, right? If they run out of cards, the game is just gonna go until someone gets 3 points or they draw at turn 30. So the value of this is to discard their cards that they need if they get unlucky with their like evolution chains. They can never find their Charizard, never find their Decidueye. But the thing is, by the time you get 4 energy out, that gives them so much setup time to get at least 1 person out to burn through your entire deck, deal a ton of damage, and then you have to have also the conditions of 2 Metal and 2 Psychics onto this Ultra Necrozma, and that is really hard to do. And so the biggest combo I'm seeing right now is Lunala plus Giratina and then just run Metal Energy. I get it. It's cool, and it's cool that they're all legendaries. It's sick. Well, I guess I don't know what Lunala's classification is, but it's really cool. But I mean, you have to draw. Let's take a look, right? You need to draw Necrozma, right? Necrozma preferably in the active slot. You need to draw Giratina on turn 1. You need to draw Cosmog, and you need to evolve it into Lunala before activating Shoegaze. Which can happen, you know? You get Exodia every once in a while, but you're not going to get it every turn. Not you're going to get every game, unfortunately. Isn't enough? Yeah, it's not amazing. I think like the mill 5 effect is pretty good if you get it off really early. So like, obviously you're going to hard stomp some games with this, but the chances of you getting all that set up every single game is so low. And 3 energy Photon Claw for 60 is not bad at all, right? The use case of that is that you attach first turn, and then you attach second turn, and then Lunala over 1 energy from Giratina, and you can start attacking. But then you can't generate any more energy with Lunala, right? Or you can't generate any more energy with Giratina if you attack. So, you know, you're gonna have to make a choice. Either attack with 60 and then never use Shoegaze, or don't attack anyway, and then save that next turn to generate with Giratina to move it over. Yeah, the cost of 2 Metal is so high if you're running the Metal only plus Lunala plus Giratina. Would Dialga make sense? Yeah, Dialga's also an idea. The thing with Dialga though is that Dialga also requires 2 Metal energy to use it, so you have to run Metal. And then how are you gonna get your Psychic? You have to use it through Giratina Lunala, right? And so now you're running Necrozma, Giratina, Lunala, and Dialga. That's so many conditions. Or 2 Dawns would work. And obviously the other solution is just to use dual energy, but you know how that goes, right? 50% chance. Too many hoops? Yeah, exactly. I don't think milling is not that good in this game. You guys think about it, right? By the time you get 4 energy especially, but even then, milling is not that good. There's so many searchers right now. You have Pokeballs, you have Rare Candies, Pokecoms, Ionos. There's so many searchers where milling 5 is a fourth of their deck, and usually a third or a half by the time you use it. It's probably a half of their deck. But by the time you're at 4 freaking energy, they have their entire board set up. They have 3 families ready to attack you. Like, I don't think it's worth it. And of course, Lucimine is going to help with this, you know. But if there are more Ultra Beasts cards that make Ultra Beast OP, then yeah, this is going to be great. But right now, no. Just no. Like, people think this is going to be, like, tier 0, the only meta deck in the game. No. Wishful thinking, though. But yeah, I think Dragon EX is sick. I want to see, like, Salamence EX. I want to see that. Burr buns. I do love Shoegaze, though. Big Shoegaze fan. If there is a... What? There's a supporter item? Maybe, yeah, exactly. We got Piple. Okay, so now we know what Piple does. And let me move this real quick. It has the attack 2-step. And all the Ultra Beasts have music-themed attacks. I think that's pretty cool. HP, basic, dark type, Ultra Beast. It has a 1-cost, dark type attack 2-step. Flip 2 coins, it deals 20 damage for each heads. So this is a reprint of Weavile, right? The guy that evolved... Yeah, Sneasel. That's it. It's also an Ultra Beast and evolves into the Poison Applier, Nihilego, or that deals double poison. We also got some cool alternate arts. Rabombi! And yeah, that's a wrap. So overall, what we've seen so far isn't really meta shaking for me. I think like the best card so far for setups is gonna be the thing that looks like Apocliffort Towers from Yu-Gi-Oh! Celesteela, right? The big tower, freaking towers from Yu-Gi-Oh! Like this ability is so good. We see how good it is with Solgaleo. We know how good free retreats are in this game. But as of now, I don't think this is gonna be changing the meta too much. I think like rare candy decks are too strong, but we'll see if there are more Ultra Beast tools, supporters, items, or Pokemon that make these Ultra Beast archetype decks better. That's gonna be it for this YouTube video. Thank you for watching. As always, I'm gonna have deck lists hopefully out as soon as possible on the new set. I took a break for the last set. I've been really sick, but hoping to get back on to that. Daily deck list, shorts, guides on YouTube Shorts, TikToks, Instagram Reels. As always, join the Discord for our trading channel, discussions, and all the news on TCG Pocket. I got a channel there, as well as a channel with all my updated deck lists. Super easy to see there. And yeah, thanks for watching, and come on.